the time.
Yeah,
All the
exactly.
time they do that. And that's why riots don't help. But sometimes when they keep shutting down, because they're never going to side with the black
Which is
side
ridiculous.
of the...
Yeah, the minorities never
Exactly,
get sided with.
exactly. It's always going to be the cops. And so the only way is for them to go in uproar and be like, look at us. And then they're like... And you're right, they do film them and say, oh, black people, we knew that they were worse.
Exactly.
They are worse
and
than us
everybody's
because
using
they're
what
rioting.
you just said earlier
Exactly.
about the Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
And now what was a really good statement has turned into bite you in the ass because assholes are using it now
Exactly.
to show the opposite.
Right.
So that's where I go, wait, this isn't helping.
Exactly. And what Sather said, here, let me read a thing that he said to us. He said, if they're smart, they'll invite him for voluntary manslaughter, and then there'll be a trial in which he will probably be acquitted. If they are done, they will fail to indict, and tonight there will be a lot of violence. And that's what he said before that. So
that was pre.
So he was very correct about that. And basically he just says, what's crazy to me is to see that if you look simply on procedure, they should have 100% indicted this cop. Yeah, it said and died, and I'm like, God, that's not right. I was like, and died this cop. I was like, this switch. Indicted this cop. But when the grand jury asked for more time to talk it over, it seems that they were weighing the evidence against the guilt or innocence, which is not the role of the grand jury.
I just
That
feel
isn't the
like,
role of the
but
grand
this,
jury.
and what's sadder, in my opinion, is that we have played this scenario out a number of times in our history, and it always comes out, in my opinion, wrong.
Yeah.
So why do we continue?
Right.
It's like, actually, we need Lane on, too, to talk about, I mean, this even puts more of a spotlight on the militarization of the police force.
Completely, yeah.
Because now they're going to take this as an excuse to
use,
continue to militarize, and I think here's the problem. You're feeding the very problem. You have cops, and there are stories all over this nation of cops that do tend to use excessive force with minorities. And yet we're ignoring that those exist everywhere. Please, when we were before the trial happened, stories were leaking. From all over the country.
Here's the thing: in the South, especially places like Ferguson, we have to stop calling them minorities because 80% of the people who live there are of color. They are no longer the minority.
Good point.
Stop saying we're minorities and they're people of color, so they're no. These are most of the citizens here right now.
True.
Obviously side with them. And also, if people are writing against police militarization, wouldn't the solution be to lessen the militarization versus, they're rioting, we should get rid of guns? No.
Exactly.
No.
How is that helping? And the other thing is, why did his record came out long before the trial, because media, of course.
As it happens.
There is a history in his record of this happening, and so we let him off with a clean slate. I don't understand where the wisdom or the logic happens there.
Because there is none. This is... And people who say this isn't racist, no, 100%
really?
Racism,
Yeah,
right there.
It's not...
In the depths.
Well, here's the problem, and that's what I was saying this morning. When someone who I know is so free now that she feels she has the right to say a racial slur to me in a conversation about this, that's a problem, because now we have created an atmosphere where idiots think that they can be so openly racist and think that all of a sudden it's okay, when 3 days ago it was not considered socially okay for them in their minds. Why has this created that comfortable...
Exactly.
And I'm sorry, they released the pictures of the officer today for when he was at the hospital after everything to show, just for picture evidence.
Yeah.
You look at that picture, and if that's supposed to show us where he was just defending himself because of, being brutalized, there's not a mark on him.
Not a thing.
Yeah.
Nope.
The fact remains that Michael Brown was not armed. Why did you feel the need to pull your gun?
Yeah.
And he said, safety! He was coming! And have you seen that? This is horrible.
He was not coming
No. Yeah, no. It all seemed... I'm sorry. And I don't understand what happened in that courtroom. I wasn't in that courtroom. But something went wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Completely.
But I do believe the reaction doesn't make it right. Two wrongs don't make it right.
That's true.
My mama taught me that, and
true.
I agree with it.
Yeah.
I get that we want to be heard, but I feel there's a better way. You know?
Like Sather always says, black people will march for anything. So.
Gay people, well, no, we get tired. If there's
gay
a cocktail
people parade
involved,
for everything. And then
we
go
will.
Conga.
Gay people put a party. It's a party. There's a party for everything.
All right.
Oh my god. Okay,
there's a lot to talk about there. Thank you for coming, us.
Yes, that's great.